Welcome, Starfinders, to Starfinder Week. My name is Cody. This is Taking20, a channel about all things role-playing games. And today we're continuing our coverage of Starfinder's classes by taking a closer look at the Envoy. So, I hope you're ready. Let's get started. Okay guys, before we jump in and talk about the Envoy, I want to give a big thank you to my sponsor here for Starfinder Week, Miniature Market. I personally have been shopping at Miniature Market since I discovered them back in 2015 because their prices are killer and they carry pretty much everything for gamers. Love board games? They got them. Big into trading card games? They got them. Looking for some tabletop miniatures? You guessed it, they got those too. And as always, if you're looking for recommendations, I always suggest Pandemic. It is a fantastic game, instant classic. Go pick it up. Just trust me on this one. Great, great game. And of course, if you guys want to snag some serious discounts on Starfinder's full lineup, be sure to check out the link down in the description below. It'll take you guys right to everything Starfinder, and it'll let Miniature Market know that I sent you over. So whatever you're into, Miniature Market is the place for all of your gaming needs. So what exactly is the Envoy? Well, if you've played Pathfinder or Dungeons & Dragons before, you'll get the nostalgic feeling of a bard here. Envoys are cunning, conniving, and they like to use their silver tongues to befuddle their enemies, distracting them long enough for their allies to gain the upper hand. Envoys' inspiring words can bolster the morale of the most shaken ally, or their cutting words can shred an enemy's confidence. They might be a charming con artist, scamming a business owner into investing their money into a fake venture, or possibly the captain of a starship and its ragtag but lovable crew of mercenaries for hire. Or they could possibly be an envoy, like an actual envoy for a group of dignitaries. Regardless, when the chips are down, the envoy's quick wit could be the difference between success and failure for their crew. So jumping into the stats for the Envoy, we see that they receive 6 hit points and 6 points of stamina. Their key ability score is going to be Charisma, which again determines the number of resolve points that they get, something that is extremely important to the Envoy in particular. Envoys are also probably going to want a solid dexterity score, as this will affect your ability to use ranged weapons in combat. The Envoy comes in with a modest 3/4 base attack bonus, as well as max save progression in both reflex and in will saves. Now, when it comes to skills, what doesn't this class have? They get a whopping 16 class skills, which ties them at the top of that list with the Operative. And like the Operative, it's actually easier for me just to list what they don't get as a class skill, which is Life Science, Mysticism, Physical Science, and Survival. Also, in case you're wondering which skill the Envoy has that the Operative doesn't, that would be Diplomacy. So if you have an Operative on your crew as well, you might want to coordinate with them and at least invest 1 point in Diplomacy and maybe ask them to pick up Survival if nobody else in your party has it. Armor and weapon-wise, the Envoy picks up proficiencies in light armor, basic melee, small arms, and grenades. Now let's dive into the class features. There are 2 main class features at the core of the Envoy: Envoy Improvisations and Expertise, both of which the Envoy gets access to at level 1. So let's start with the Improvisations. Improvisations are little tricks that the Envoy will use to confuse their enemies, boost their allies, and ultimately tilt the scales of battle. They pick up their first improvisation at first level, and then another at level 2, and every 2 levels thereafter. And these improvisations are broken down into a few different tiers with level requirements of level 1, level 4, 6, and then 8. Now, it's worth noting that some of these improvisations, whether they affect your allies or an enemy, are either language dependent, mind affecting, or sense dependent. Overall, improvisations will allow your Envoy to apply status conditions and penalties to enemies, heal allies, and give them bonuses to their attacks. Also, quite a few improvisations allow you to spend a resolve point to make a change to an outcome of that improvisation or add extra effects. This adds a little high risk, high reward to this particular class feature. In total, there are 28 improvisations in Starfinder's core rulebook, and by 20th level, an envoy would be able to snag 11 of them. So looking at the first tier, there are a total of 10 improvisations to choose from. Out of those 10, there are 7 that require some sort of action to be used. This could be a move or standard or even a reaction. 2 of those are passive and are always active, and another grants allies a boon during rest if a resolve point is spent to heal. Let's talk about some of the improvisations that really stand out to me here. The first is Get 'em, which grants you and your allies a morale bonus to hit an enemy within 60 feet. And once you reach 6th level, you can then choose to spend a resolve point to grant the same bonus to all enemies within 60 feet and add that morale bonus to damage as well. So this is not tremendously overpowered, but the key here is that it only takes a move action. So if you're already in position and this wouldn't hurt your ability to attack an enemy, you can basically grant this every turn for free. A passive improvisation that I really like is Universal Expression. This allows an envoy to use language-dependent improvisations on an enemy even if they don't speak the same language, so very effective. I also really like Inspiring Boost, which allows an enemy that has recently taken damage to gain back stamina points equal to twice your envoy level plus charisma modifier at only the cost of a standard action. In late levels, this bonus will even increase to 3 times your envoy level. In my opinion, this is a solid choice for envoys that want to provide a bit of off healing for your group. And lastly, I really like Watch Your Step. Again, another utility ability for you to consider. This is a great passive ability that will help give your crew a bonus to reflex saves. But once you reach level 6, you get the option of spending a resolve point to give your allies the ability to roll twice and take the higher of the 2 results, both still with a +2 bonus on it. You may take this and never feel the need to use it, but over the course of a campaign, this could really add up in helping your allies avoid quite a bit of damage by improving those reflex saves. The second tier of improvisations, which is accessed at level 4, has a total of 8 more improvisations for you to choose from, but 3 of those require you to have taken a improvisation at level 1 before you can gain access to it. From the 4th level tier, I really like long-ranged improvisation, which doubles the range of improvisations that already have a range of 30 feet. This has some really good synergy with Inspiring Boost, and being able to heal an ally from up to 60 feet away is just really, really good. And the Improvisation Hurry is another strong choice here. This grants an ally an extra move action on their turn, helping you boost a melee character into range when they otherwise might not be able to reach their target. Though, as it grants a move action, they can also use this bonus economy to take a guarded step or even draw a weapon. If you have a hit and run soldier in your party, this could really help them take advantage of their opening volley. The 3rd tier is available starting at level 6, and only comes with 4 more choices. However, these are all pretty solid choices that in the right situation can greatly help you and your party. Some of the notable ones include Improved Get 'em, which increases your bonus to +2 and allows for you to make an attack as part of a standard action while still using this improvisation. It might be a little confusing on how this differs from Get 'em, but in essence, with just Get 'em, you can only attack if you didn't move. And with Improved Get 'em, it allows you to move, apply Get 'em, and still make a single attack, which makes this a solid choice. Another standout for me is Clever Improvisations. This lets you save the first resolve point you spend on an improvisation. What's great about this is that it completely resets whenever you take a 10-minute rest to recover stamina points. So you should be able to trigger this multiple times during the same adventure. And lastly is the 4th tier, which has 6 more improvisations to choose from. One of my favorites from this tier is Improved Hurry, which lets you use Hurry as a move action and eventually can be improved with the resolve point to grant an ally an extra standard action instead of just a move action. This now makes Hurry much more valuable to use on your casters and range characters in your party, as they could use this to cast a spell, lob a grenade, or fire off a shot with their sniper rifle. I'm not going to call this a must-have if you're playing an Envoy, but it's pretty close. Now, let's take a look at the Envoy's other core mechanic, Expertise. Where an Envoy's improvisations help them in combat, Expertise focuses on their skills. As long as the Envoy has at least one resolve point remaining, an Envoy can choose to roll a d6 and add the result as an insight bonus to select skill checks. At level 1, this bonus only applies to the sense motive skill, but eventually you'll gain the ability to add it to additional skills, which I'll cover here in just a moment. The Expertise ability gradually gets improvements at certain levels. At level 5, you start to gain a static +1 bonus to the rolls, and this bonus increases again at level 9, 17, and 20. And the die also changes to a d8 when you hit level 13. So you'd start with the d6 at level 1, get a 1d6 +1 at level 5, and a 1d8 +3 by level 17. Also at level 9, you gain a rather neat ability that relies on the skill focus feat. Once per day for every skill that you can apply Expertise to and have the skill focus feat for, you can roll the Expertise die twice and take the higher of the two. Skill Expertise is what allows you to gain additional skills to apply your Expertise dice to. As mentioned before, you start with already having Expertise in sense motive, but starting at level 1 and every 4 levels thereafter, you can choose a new skill from the following list: Bluff, Computers, Culture, Diplomacy, Disguise, Engineering, Intimidate, and Medicine. This is going to work in conjuncture with your Expertise talent, which the Envoy gains access to at level 3. Expertise talents give the Envoy extra options for the skills that they choose with their skill Expertise. There are a grand total of 19 talents to pick from, and each of them will augment a certain skill and typically enhance it in some way. Trying to decide on which of the skills are better to choose for your skill Expertise and Expertise talents is very, very subjective and really dependent on the type of character you're trying to roleplay, your group's composition, and your personal overall playstyle. Just to cover a few that I like, and again, your mileage is gonna vary, I really like Convincing Liar and Menacing Gaze. In a nutshell, Convincing Liar lets you forego rolling your Expertise dice when using a bluff check until after you've made your roll. Once it's been made, you can either roll the Expertise dice and add it to the result, or just re-roll the entire check. And to summarize Menacing Gaze, it works with the Intimidate skill and allows you to reenact those old scenes from old Western movies. You guys know the ones where the saloon doors fly open, the big bad evil guy walks in, and then everybody in the bar starts cowering and becomes like a little scared puppy. To put that into game mechanics, you simply make an Intimidate check to demoralize a small group of enemies within 60 feet, making them shaken for a round. Now, the capstone for those lucky enough to get to level 20 in their games is True Expertise. Upon reaching the coveted 20th level, your Expertise dice increases from 1d8 +4 to just 2d8. Additionally, you get to choose one improvisation that you know and that has an effect that would require you to spend a resolve point. And as long as you have one remaining resolve point, you can use that improvisation and enhance it without spending any resolve points, which is a very, very strong ability and one of the better capstones in the game, in my opinion. Using this on either Improved Hurry, Improved Get 'em, or Watch Out all spring to mind as really good options. So what do you guys think about the Envoy? Do you like the utility of the class, or do you prefer a more independent-based class? I'd love to hear what you guys think. Also guys, be sure to check out the video's description for a full guide to all the coverage here for Starfinder Week on the channel. I'm going to be releasing 28 videos for Starfinder over the next few weeks, so if you're looking for a place to keep up with everything Starfinder, I've got you covered. If this is your first time here and you love role-playing games as much as I do, I'd love to have you subscribe. Every week I'll be putting out new videos on GM tips, player tips, tutorials, and more, so if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, just hit that subscribe button down below and come join us. Once again, I want to give a special thank you to my sponsor, Miniature Market, for making all of these videos possible, and thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Cody, and may your games be filled with awesome memories and even better friends. I'll catch you guys next time.